Hey everyone, I'm Ash and this is 10 things you didn't know last week. Number 10. Dinosaurs didn't roar. In fact, they probably cooed. Dinosaurs in the movies roar ferociously, but new research suggests they actually mumbled or cooed with their mouths closed. The research published online in the journal Evolution examines the evolution of a specialized way birds emit sound. The scientists are working to understand the origin and evolution of the unique vocal organ of the birds and the large array of sound it can produce. Because birds descended from dinosaurs, the research may also shed light on how dinosaurs made sound. Number 9. The Arsenal litters outside the club's stadium are an anti-attack measure. This came into light after the attack on Nice, where 84 people lost their lives. There is planning guidance, and the Royal Institute of British Architects has its own dedicated advice on designing for counter-terrorism without turning the nation into Alcatraz. The most well-known example of that kind of planning in action can be found at the Arsenal's Emirates Stadium, where giant letters spelling out the club name are in fact also a massive shield. So if a Nice-like lorry attack were attempted at the stadium, the letters would absorb the energy of the collision. Number 8. Zayn Malik left One Direction after an alien appeared to him in his dreams. Zayn is finally opening up about the first time he ever thought about leaving One Direction, and the reason is not what you would really expect. The 23-year-old singer tells Glamour, "An alien spoke to me in my dream, and then I knew I had to leave." Number 7. There are only 2 newspaper journalists still working on Fleet Street itself. DC Thomson, who owns the brand, has confirmed that its 2 London-based journalists and another one working in the north of England are to leave the newspaper, but 2 English-based sports journalists will be retained. Number 6. Every English elm tree is descended from a single tree imported by the Romans. The outbreak of Dutch elm disease in the 1970s ravaged European elm population, killing more than 25 million trees alone in Britain. The greatest impact was on the English elm. Scientists used molecular and historical information to show that the elm derived from a single clone that the Romanians transported from Italy to the Iberian Peninsula and from there to Britain for the purpose of supporting and training vines. Number 5. It would take 300 years to catalogue all the tree species in the Amazon rainforest. In a research published in the journal Scientific Reports, more than 500,000 museum specimens dating back to 300 years ago were audited. They say nearly 12,000 tree species have been discovered so far, and based on this figure, they predict that about 4,000 rare types remain to be discovered and described. Number 4. The new Chancellor of the Exchequer was a teenage goth and looked like Johnny Depp. Richard Medley is standing by his claim that Philip Hammond is a former goth who sported long black hair and read The Guardian as a teenager. The newly appointed Chancellor of the Exchequer battled off the surprise revelation made by Mr. Medley, who likened his old classmate appearance to that of Johnny Depp. Mr. Hammond and Mr. Medley attended Shenfield High School in Brentwood, Essex together in 1970s. Number 3. Theresa May's cabinet contains more state-educated ministers than any government since Clement Attlee's in 1945. She has been praised for having the lowest number of privately educated ministers in a new Prime Minister's cabinet in over 70 years. Number 2. Legendary German film director Werner Herzog loves watching cat videos. The German filmmaker has made more than 70 films in his career, including documentaries and films ranging from Grizzly Man, Bad Lieutenant, to the more recent Queen of the Desert and upcoming Salt and Fire. And there are just as many legendary stories tied to the director from his decades of filmmaking, from the time he boiled and ate his shoe to the time he was shot on live TV and the cat videos that he watches online. Number 1. And the number 1 this week, we found that ducklings are capable of abstract thoughts. Alex Kaselnik, and Anton Martino at the University of Oxford were completely surprised by the results they have from the research they did on ducklings after hatching from egg. Kesselnick and Martino reasoned that ducklings might be able to grasp patterns relating to shape or color as part of the array of sensory information they absorb soon after hatching. Doing so would allow them to recognize their mothers and siblings and distinguish them from all others, which are abilities vital for survival. In ducklings, goslings, and other species that depend for survival on following their mothers, newborns learn quickly, a process called filial imprinting. Thank you for watching this week's episode of 10 Things We Didn't Know Last Week. Please like, comment and subscribe, and stay tuned for our next episode.